What is up, guys? Welcome to the TDS March Madness Edition episode. We definitely are grateful for you guys joining in. We got a special treat when it comes down to a guest today. Definitely super happy to have him on. One of my really good friends. Nothing but awesome things to say about this gentleman. But yeah, with that being said, let's drop that intro. Taco, what do you say?
All right, sounds good to me.
Hey, David and Taco, they bring that heat. All about UFC, way more than a fantasy. Let's see who going toe to toe. Throw down on the mat, check the replay, run it back. We gotta check the stats. Hey, do this every day. We ain't come to play. This is sports talk, and we love talking MMA. Everything fantasy sports. Dopest show that I know. With Electric Dave and talented Mr. Taco. Let's go. Hey, G.
There it is, guys. There it is. So, yeah, man, without further ado, we don't want to waste too much time. I definitely want to bring on our guest. Again, nothing but great things to say. The guest that we're bringing on is Jordan. He's former player for Belmont, played in the tourney. Like I said, a really good friend of mine, but again, just an amazing person in general. So thank you for coming on, Jordan, and definitely we're definitely going to kind of pick your brain a little bit about who you like this year.
How's it going, Dave? What's up, Taco?
What's going on, my brother?
Yeah, so I'm excited, man. March Madness is obviously something that's huge all around. Obviously, Vegas and our end over here is huge. The betting lines are crazy. So I really am just ready to kind of pick your brain a little bit on a couple of the either Cinderella stories or really your picks. I know Taco's got a couple too that he's just curious about, and we want to tell a little bit some of the people that follow us, maybe some pointers about what you think with your knowledge of having been in it. Who really stand out to you this year. So yeah, really, when it comes out to that, like key matchups, right? There's a couple of key matchups that a lot of people have been talking about. Number one, I know that we were talking about one that stood out to you was Michigan State. That's kind of like a sleeper pick. I don't know that I want to jump right to that one, but I'm just saying, where do you see the first like big matchup that you like?
First big matchup that I like. I mean, there's just so many in the first round, as we've seen in the last couple of years. Number one seeds getting knocked out. I mean, literally anybody can win this, at least a game in this thing. So, as far as matchups that I would like to see, as far as really good games and teams that could possibly make a run. I can see teams like Alabama making a run.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, they got solid defense. They played well in their conference all year. It's a team that has not necessarily a hard road, at least to get to like the Sweet 16, Elite 8. But I think that Alabama, and if Maryland can get past UConn, that would be a really interesting matchup because both of those teams could potentially, I think, get to the Final Four.
Wow. Interesting. So that's definitely right there, just coming out of the east side there.
So that means you're not that high on Michigan as like that number one seed in the bracket. You think they could be overthrown?
I think so. Just for the simple fact they got a key injury in Livers. I don't know how to pronounce his name exactly, but they got a key injury there, and they have taken a couple questionable losses as far as the caliber of team that they are, losses that they shouldn't have taken. I mean, of course, they're solid. They got big men down there. They got guards that can create, and the tournament is honestly about the guard play.
Absolutely.
So I like a lot of teams that are heavy on quality guards.
With that being said, you mentioned earlier one that was a number one seed that is really heavy guard based, and you were saying about Gonzaga. That they're known for their guards. How do you like them this year? A lot of the things I was seeing really showed them being big, strong contenders this year to win. I mean, if you look plus 200 title odds, that's pretty strong odds, at least in the tournament.
I mean, at this point, we shouldn't even consider Gonzaga a mid-major. They've just been solid like the the last 10, 15 years, just Elite Eight team.
Yeah.
As far as the talent that they have on their roster. So, I mean, the guards that they have on their team, I think they have like 2 potentially top 10 picks.
Really?
And just their guards. They got a quality big man. Excellent coach. I mean, the big games, all these games are big games, and a lot of them are decided by just a couple possessions. So that's where coaching comes into play, and that's why you see Izzo get to the Final Four so many times. He doesn't have to be ranked a 1 or a 2 seed to get there, So in these close games, I feel like it's going to come down to coaching, and I think with just how this year has been, we might see some new faces as far as coaches pop up and blossom in the college game.
One of the things that stood out to me too, Jordan, that you said that I was talking to Taco about was like how much the tournament is about momentum. You said coaching, and I think there was something else you said that it was just like it just flowed so well about like how much it is important for you to go into the tournament with momentum.
Yeah, right? It's execution and momentum.
Execution.
And a lot of that, again, it's the execution part comes down to coaching. I mean, the momentum, you just gotta snatch that in the game. And as far as locking down on defense, I mean, you see a lot of teams, shooting pull-up transition threes on back-to-back possessions. These teams are going for your throat, and that's exactly what happened to Virginia. This 16 seed came out of nowhere. They were all 6'5" and under or something like that, and literally just would not stop launching threes, and it was just their night. And that's the beauty of the game, the beauty of March. So
it is. And I know, Taco, I know you got a couple more, but let me ask him another one that I want to ask. And that's really, I know we keep talking about these number 1 and number 2s, and you said there's not too many number 1s that you feel like really strong about this year. But if you could pick anybody that has a potential to lose in the first round, that would be a number 1 seed. Who has the highest potential to lose if you think that if you could pick out of those 4 matchups, if you have any thought? And it might be none. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to say Baylor. Yeah, like they were rocking and rolling at the beginning of the season. They looked like the clear-cut number 1 team in the nation. I don't know if it was COVID related, but they took some time off, a couple weeks off, and their rhythm was just all the way off. Took some bad losses. Their key players aren't playing well anymore. They're just struggling right now. So, they're going into the tournament and on a hiccup and kind of like a little road bump. And those are the teams that you gotta watch out for them. Like you don't want to put
Sunday.
Yeah, you don't want to put all your money on those teams that are like that. So I would say probably Baylor if I had to choose one.
Right. And that's honestly love having those type of conversations. Like that's the type of knowledge about watching the game or being a student to the game who has played, that gives somebody like me as a fan and other people as fans a little bit of that little extra insight that maybe we may miss, so that's a good insight. And Taco, I know you have a couple for Jordan.
Yeah. So I guess first I would talk about, the number 1 prospect, I think coming into the NBA, Cade Cunningham. And what do you think about, his team coming into the tournament? What do you think about, his game and how it works for the tournament? Because to me, it's like, I feel like these guys that can create their own shot and really control the offenses, like, the Ja Morant types and like the Cade Cunningham, really have the opportunity to show up during the tournament and take over at any point in time.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's always nice to have that one person or, the one superstar player on your team because they just bring so much attention and that allows for wide open shots. That allows for drives to the basket, cuts to the basket. It just opens up the entire offensive side of the floor. Illinois, I can see them winning the whole thing. I mean, they're coming into this probably the hottest team in the nation. I've probably watched them more than any other 1 or 2 seed this year, and I'm not saying this biased either. I just feel like Gonzaga has quality guards, but Illinois is right there. If you have to have 1 or 2 teams to
go after
to take this down, Cunningham is a monster. I just think that
he's going to run up into that wall.
Yeah, we have seen players come into form this time of year, and I think that he can be that next big name in college basketball. The way that he has played this season, and he can definitely carry this team to a championship. And I feel like the path that they have, they have a couple tough teams along the way. If they make it there, I think Tennessee could give them some trouble if they got past Oklahoma State. But again, Oklahoma State is solid too. So they got a couple games that if they get through, then they have a big chance to win it.
Sure. And then the next question and the last question I guess I have is what other playmaker or player are you going to look at during this tournament that you see other than a Cade that you think could really take over and make a name for themselves?
There's not any one that stand out just because there's just so many. I'd say this is going to be a guard heavy draft. Obviously the big guys who can do a lot stand out, and that's why you see names like Cunningham and that sort being thrown out as top picks. So I don't think there's necessarily one, because this tournament has so many, there's going to be so many key matchups and so many players and coaches who, show their face in the spotlight and show up in the bright lights and, potentially become household names. So
you're expecting it to be a high-powered, high-octane type tournament where, there's a lot of different guards that could possibly break out and fit this mold that you'd be looking for a good tournament.
For sure. I mean, guards really run this tournament. Guards, you got to have solid free throws, outside shot. You got to have, you got to set up your big men. So.
Especially because you got the 1-and-1s. So making that first free throw so much more important.
One of the that Barkley said to Shaq was, "Man, you wouldn't even play in today's league. You don't got an outside game. You know what I mean? You wouldn't even get drafted."
Right.
I think that's one of the biggest things that you keep saying that ring true to me about just hearing how much the guard play is going to be important and how fun it's going to be, how much of a fun tournament is going to be with all these guards really stepping out and playing really today's NBA. The NBA game right now is so guard heavy, right? It's so
exactly, it's guard heavy. It's becoming more of a deeper game. Steph Curry and other people, Damian Lillard, have kind of pushed things further and further back from the three-point line. So, going back to one player that I am very excited to see is a guy that's on Loyola Chicago. I don't know his name right off the top of my head, but let me see if I can get it up here.
And they're facing Georgia Tech. So you like for this? Loyola for this game?
Cameron Krutwig is his name.
Gotcha.
He's solid. He everything is ran through him. He just looks so laid back out there. The game just comes easy to him. So if they get past Georgia Tech, that would be kind of fun to see what Loyola Chicago could do, because as we've seen in the last, what was it, last year or 2 years ago, they made the huge run. This came out of nowhere. I mean,
it'd be fun if them and Illinois, that might be quite the matchup then, right?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I got one last one because I know Taco's kind of burning inside. Me as a Knick fan, it's nice to see our boy Patrick Ewing coaching the team, getting into the tourney. It's excited. The NBA didn't really give him a shot after all these assistant coach heavy jobs. Like, come on, the Garden giving him a hard time in his house. Like, come on, man.
Who's Patrick Ewing?
Listen, I know he came through our store that one time. Wasn't too happy to see that he was in a good mood, but I kept it cool, I kept it calm, didn't really give him a hard time. I greeted him, and he was like, nah, man, no phone number, come on, man. But what do you think on this matchup with Colorado? I know they come in off of an exciting play, and what do you think? What do you think on Georgetown?
I think Colorado is a favorite, just because they just played a little bit more solid this year. Conferences, I think maybe a little bit better than the one Georgetown's in, but again, we go back to this momentum thing, and right now they're on top of the world. They just won the tournament. They're going into this thing hot. Yep. You never know. You never know. So
you said that these coaches might stand out. Who knows if that might come out here? Listen,
Yeah, and what do we know about 12s and 5s?
Yeah, that's true.
Upset special.
Upset. So I mean, really, that's kind of a little bit of the meat and potatoes of what we really wanted to talk to you about, Jordan. I know we'd love to continue every so often to have you on. You obviously,
maybe for the Sweet 16 after we get some footage of these guys, we could redo it.
We'd love to revisit a couple of maybe Sweet 16, maybe Final Four, and all that. Man, but super knowledgeable, super grateful that you joined the podcast today. I
appreciate both y'all. Thanks.
Yeah, man. And you're really somebody I consider a really good friend. And man, we'd love to have you back on. With that being said, we also want to say, I don't know if you've been into the NBA Top Shot, but we're doing a giveaway on NBA Top Shot. It's kind of like the new thing with the whole blockchain technology. I know me and you are big into crypto, so I might have you on the crypto channel one of these days. And
Oh yeah, we'll be right there very soon.
So we're gonna be doing a giveaway. Taco, I'll let you lead that, and we'll sign out. And again, Jordan, hey brother, man, appreciate it.
All right, y'all. Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, man.
Of course.
And for the NBA Top Shot, just so you guys know, all you have to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel. And with that being said, you'd be able to be entered into the giveaway. Once we hit 100 subscribers, we're going to be able to do the full giveaway, and then we'll have more giveaways to come after that. But we want to thank you for your time. We appreciate everything, guys.
And we'll share, subscribe, ask your questions, man.
Absolutely.
We'll have Jordan maybe drop in and answer a question or two if he's got the time. And yeah, man, this was a fun one for me. I was really excited to talk to Jordan. He's got a lot of knowledge about the game, and he usually I would pick his brain when we would be making some bets and at work back in the day, So yeah, this was a fun one for me.
Absolutely. And I think once we get to the Sweet 16 and we get to see some footage of all the teams, it'll be a lot better because everyone's going to have a little bit more knowledge of these players. And I think that's the beautiful part about those first days of the tournament is that everyone gets to see everyone in this massive showcase and legends start to get made. And I'm hoping for a great tournament. I think everyone is hoping for a great tournament. It sounds like it's going to be a great tournament with all the guards that we have. But we thank you guys for your time. Stay tuned. We have fantasy baseball content coming out heavy. We just had another basketball episode come out. We have This Week in Basketball now is going to be going live on Monday nights going into the playoffs. So every Monday night, we're going to go live in Facebook and on Twitch and on Twitter so we can get your questions, so we can help you out real time and get ready for that kickoff for the playoffs. So we're getting you ready to go. We hope you have a wonderful, tournament. Hope your brackets go well. Hope you hit that big money. And we are out.
Later, guys.